How am I gonna do this? It's like a week, a little over a week until Halloween, but about like 5 days until I have to go to this Halloween party with a costume. And I decided that I was gonna make it, not giving myself enough time. And I decided I'm gonna do Pearl because I love her. Now, I got a pattern off of Etsy that I printed out. So I'm gonna use that pattern. And it's a little different from the actual dress, but I think it'll get me close enough. We'll see. So, I got my bag of stuff. Of course. Also, don't mind what you see back here. Like, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'll clean it eventually. Here's my axe. And now I'm basically just yapping about all the stuff that I got. And half of that I didn't even use for this project. But I think I'm going to come in and tell you what I'm going to add. The other couple of things I wanted to add that aren't in the pattern, but are a part of Pearl's dress. So like the first one being the big bow that she has in the back. I think that's really cute, and I want to have it attached to the waistband of it so that you can tie it back. And then there's like this ruffle at the bottom of her dress that is not in this pattern. What I'm about to say is something that I will forget about 6 seconds into this project. This is supposed to be fun, and I have to get over not making everything exactly accurate. I sped this part up because I yapped forever and I thought it was really boring. So I'm going to take this time instead to warn you about the horrific drawings you're about to see in my planning step. Okay. So here are the couple reference pictures I have, and here's the pictures that come with the actual pattern. So here's what I want to change. The sleeves. I'm thinking they would probably stop about here. And then I want to add a little belt piece there. And then that belt piece will come in the back. Oh god, I can't draw a bow. To the bow. That's so hideous. Oh my god, I can't draw. I try my best. It doesn't. Okay. Anyway, that's where I want that to sit. I'm gonna get rid of these buttons right here. We're not gonna do them. So then depending on the fit, I might not have to, well, I probably should still gather that, but I might not have to. Because then I'm imagining use one strip of the lace for around the collar, and then use the tiny red one here with the buttons going down there, because it looks like, let's say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna assume there's 5 to make my life easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then probably doing the thicker lace here with the purple over top of it there, because I'm thinking that's all I'm gonna be able to do. We're gonna go here, there, for the most part, and then do that little ruffle that she has, where it's kind of just like a slightly gathered strip there, and then gather. Oh, that would be the wrong side. And then gathered there. I want the sleeves to have a little bit of puff to it, so I think I'm going to use that other pattern and then have a cuff there. I'm not great at drawing, but in my brain, I can kind of see what's going on, even though that looks so bad. That's, oh no. Well, I hope that my final product turns out better than this. Alright, well, the best I'm gonna be able to do. I'm gonna look at the pattern pieces and see what I should cut out and re-look at the measurements. Yeah. So I'm gonna work on the bodice first, but I am afraid that it's going to be too long all around because I needed the bigger size for my proportions, but I'm shorter than the proportion of the pattern. The back is gonna be fine. Perfect. I hope the only thing I have to shorten is the skirt. My hair's pissing me off. Oh my god. See, this is what happens when I don't style my bangs and I try to slick them back in a bun. Okay, so then this would go here. I think it's gonna be fine. Yeah. I shouldn't make a mock-up, but I'm not gonna. What is the yoke facing? I've never sewn a yoke before. I don't know what this is. Oh my lord. I'm not creating a fitted silhouette. No, no, no. Oh. Okay. So the yoke facing is for the buttons. But if I'm not making usable buttons, I don't think I have to reinforce and have a facing on there. I think I can just make a piece here and a piece here. On my brain. I work in elementary school. My brain is dead by the time I get home. I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm not gonna have the yoke be able to have a button and open there, I think what I'm gonna do is cut out the pieces and sew the entire bodice into one piece so then I can put the lace over top. I'm stalling because I'm scared. Alright. It's just a Halloween costume. It's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna try to do the bodice first. Get that all assembled. The skirt will be the absolute last thing I do. I think I'm gonna go bodice, sleeves, skirt, the little ruffle at the bottom of the skirt, and then the bow in the back. Serve. So while I'm tracing and cutting out pattern pieces, I want to talk about Pearl, the woman of the hour. I love her so much, truly. And I feel like she's so different from other horror icons because I actually sympathize with her, which could be controversial, but I don't know. You can see how she struggles through like feeling othered and isolated, and how like her dreams, she doesn't understand why it does not work out for her, but it works out for other people. And she's just, all of her dreams are these delusions of grandeur that are cause such a rift between her reality and her fantasy world that she creates. And honestly, I can't say anything because I am also delusional and I just feel for her. I feel bad. And I know she's crazy, but I'm allowed to feel bad. She's just a girl, okay? Like, I don't condone murder, but I feel bad for her. Anyway, I'll be back to talking right now. Okay, I cut out all the bodice pieces, and I'm trying to decide if I want to follow what the pattern says or just place these pieces together and then put the lace on it. I think I'm going to read what the pattern says to do and then slightly go off of it, but not follow it completely. Yeah, I'm just nervous, because what if I mess up?
2 very boring minutes later.
I don't know if this is making any sense. Sometimes with this iPad, I feel like Robbie from Victorious, when he's like, well, let me check my pear pad. I think I'm gonna do the zipper, and I think I'm gonna put it on there. I'm just gonna make sure that I don't have to attach any other pieces to the back. I don't know. I'm gonna think about what I'm doing. I just spent the last 20 minutes looking for my presser foots. I forgot that I actually organized for once. I was like, well, I guess they're gone. I'm never gonna find them again. Oh my lord. Oh. Back to Pearl. I know that there's so much more nuance than what I'm able to talk about now, but I don't have the time to do a full
speech about why I love Pearl. But I think what sold me on her was the monologue. Mia Goth's performance of that monologue is amazing, number one. And two, I just love hearing from the inner workings of Pearl's head. It's her talking about what she's experiencing. And also, I just love the way Pearl talks. Okay, not too bad for not knowing what I'm doing. There's a couple of, like, I don't even know if you can see it. The red isn't showing up very well. Like, puckering, but and then there's that little, like, spot right there. I'm not the best at sewing curves, but not that bad. Could be worse.
It's the next day, and I'm gonna do basically this. I forgot I turned the movie on. Shh. Shh. I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did to the side back bodice and center back bodice, where I had eased the sides in using some basting stitches. I'm going to do that for the center, front, and the sides. I'm gonna do 2 lines of basting stitches here to ease it in, and then stitch that together so I then have the bottom half of the front bodice complete, and then I'm gonna move on to the yoke.
When I say I like the way that Pearl talks, something about the accent and, like, the pitch of her voice, I will talk like that for hours. It's not even funny. I'll walk around just going, "Hey, Mitzi, I like your dress." I'm from New Jersey. That is not how I talk, but it's so fun. I don't know how to explain it. It's so fun. But yeah, I'm just sewing the bodice, and I think I'm going to talk about it right now.
Okay, that's done. I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm not gonna follow what the pattern says for the yoke. I am instead gonna take the 2 pieces, stitch them right sides together to create this portion of the top of the dress, and then I'm gonna create 2 rows of basting stitches on the top of the front bodice piece so that I could gather it into the bottom of here, and then I'm gonna sew the yoke and the, like, center front part of the bodice together.
I'm sorry if the, like, cutting back and forth between talking about the project and talking about Pearl is confusing, but in this voiceover I don't have anything else to say about the sewing. Like, I really did not know what I was doing when I was constructing this piece together. I had a pattern. I, like, half followed it, half didn't. And I was on such a time crunch that this is all a blur. I don't remember doing any of this.
Okay. I don't think that looks as bad as it could, because then that's when, oh my god, I don't even know what I'm doing. So if this goes here, this goes here, and the sleeve starts there. Okay, not too bad. Whoa, that's crazy. I just need it to lay. I'm gonna press it a little bit more. And I pressed all of the seams towards the bottom because it's gathered. I don't know how I'm feeling. But I'm gonna cover it with lace anyway, so, like, are you even gonna see it? I just need it to fit me. I just pinned up what I got so far on the mannequin. Doesn't look too bad. I'm a little worried about where the sleeve starts, but because that's, like, really close to the front. I didn't show any of that. Okay. Because it does start really close to the front, but I prefer a larger sleeve hole so I don't feel too. But and it's a little bit baggy on my dress form, which is okay because I am in fact bigger than my dress form. So hopefully it should fit. I'm gonna put the lace on. So I was originally gonna lay out the lace like that so then it can go over the shoulder and continue down the back, but I just looked at another picture and I think it's only on the front, and it's only on, like, this portion from, like, here to the other side of there, mirrored, and it's just all lace on the front, and then it goes into regular red. So now I have to rethink everything.
I must have pinned and unpinned this lace a million times. I think I spent at least an hour and a half just trying to figure out how I wanted to lay this lace on, because I only had 2 yards of each type of lace, and just trying to like figure it out that it looked full enough. It was just not fun. I thought this was going to be the fun part, and it was not. Okay, I think this is the lace design that I decided to go with. I mean, it looks good enough in my opinion. And then the buttons, the like decorative ones, are gonna go down there. I believe I have like 5 of them. But yeah, I'm gonna sew that up. I hope it's even. I'm gonna check it one more time. When it came to this project, I would say this was the beginning of my downfall when it came to attitude towards the project. Now, I have never worked with lace in any regard, especially top stitching. And one of the things I wanted to work on was draping, pinning, and then taking it over to my sewing machine and sewing it. And while this was probably the easiest type of way that I could have done it, it took me forever. And I just got increasingly more and more frustrated because especially like the wide lace was fraying. So then I had fraying bits everywhere. It wasn't looking as even as I thought it should look. So yeah, I don't know. I just remembered this was the point where I was like, okay, once I finished sewing this on, I was like, I gotta take a break for tonight. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore, because I started to hate sewing. There's a point when you sew for so long that you're like, I hate this, never want to do it again. Okay, I finished the lace. It looks fine. It doesn't look as good as I wanted it to, but I'm also hypercritical. So the next step is to add the back onto here, but I think I'm trying to decide if I want to do the zipper first or if I'll do the shoulder seams. Okay, so I decided we're gonna do the zipper first, then the shoulder seams, and then I believe the side seams, and then the top, like the actual bodice portion, should be done, and then I gotta tackle the sleeves. Once I got to putting the bodice together, it actually was smooth sailing. I didn't run into that many problems. I did catch myself worrying about the fit, because one of the reasons I had stopped sewing about 2 years ago was I had a lot of issues with making things for my body, especially as it changed. And I caught myself kind of worrying about the fit and whether or not it was going to, just thoughts that really ruin your mood. But I will say I am proud of myself for continuing to work through those, because like 2 years ago I would have been like, okay, I'm never sewing again, I'm done. But yeah, it went very smoothly, and I made sure that I actually did try it on in the middle of making it, which I hate doing. It is my least favorite part of sewing, is having to try on, which is like a very big part of making sure that it fits. But like, I don't want to, that's a lot of work, I don't know if that makes any sense, considering I'm constructing a whole garment, but I draw the line at trying on what I'm making. It's weird. I'm almost done with the bodice. It's unzipped right now, but that's because I had somebody unzip it. So I think the next move is, I only put a basting stitch in the sides because I didn't know if it was going to fit. So I'm gonna do like a permanent stitch on each side. And then I think I'm gonna attempt the collar, then the sleeves. I think. We'll see. And that's exactly what I did. After I put in the permanent stitches in the side seam, I ironed out my bodice, and then I got to work on the collar, which was very intimidating because every single time I have tried to make a collar in the past, it has not gone very well. It has looked absolutely hideous. And with this one, I always feel like, at least in my opinion, when I look at her dress, I really love the top portion of it, the lace and the collar, because it's so Edwardian, because it is technically her mom's dress that she wears her mom's old clothes. But anyway, I really wanted to have the collar have like the scalloped lace at the top of it, and I was just hoping and praying the entire time as I was constructing it that it was gonna work the way I envisioned it in my head. I even had the pattern pulled up the whole time, and I checked it like 20 times throughout the process. So like once I got the collar all stitched up and ready, I then attached it to the bodice, and then I ironed it out. That was probably the biggest difference with this project and previous ones. I ironed after almost every single step, and it really does make the difference. It was crazy how much better it looked, when you actually press your seams. There it is. Look at it.
Finish the collar. We're not going to talk about the inside of it. The inside does not look too good, but here's the thing. Nobody's going to see the inside but me. It's on the outside. Oh, that actually looks good. Okay. You know what? I did it. I did it. I did it! Okay, this is what I've got. I can't tell if it's a little snug or if it's like supposed to be, but also I'm used to wearing shirts that are 2 to 3 sizes too big. So like this actually fits, I think. Yeah.
Now it is time for the skirt. I also stopped talking to the camera at this point. What am I doing? Oh, I think that is not the proper way to measure things. Please, what? I don't remember doing that. That's so crazy. Anyway, this was the point where the time crunch really got to me, because even though I'm wearing the same shirt, this was the next day, I believe. So I believe this was Wednesday, and Thursday was the last day I get to work on it. Oh, I changed outfits. Okay, so this is Thursday. I only had that night to complete everything. So I had to figure out how much I wanted to shorten the skirt by to account for the ruffle at the bottom. This is me pinning the skirt. And then from there, I had to sew the side seams together, gather it. I think I ended up adding the ruffle first. But yeah, I cut it. There's me cutting it. There's definitely better ways to go about doing this. But at this point, my brain stopped working. Because do you know how a lot of people say they operate well under pressure? I say that, but I don't. I was in such a foul mood the rest of the time I was making it. Oh my goodness. And now I'm cutting out the ruffle. I ended up having, because I ran out of fabric, having to make smaller rectangles that I then connected together to be about double-ish the width of the skirt so that I can gather it. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I started gathering it and I hated the look at the bottom, and I just ended up pleating it instead. But I made sure I added the bias tape. And I will say, I've never actually used bias tape before. That was such a great decision. It made hemming a lot easier. But also, I feel like it just looked better and kind of made it look much more clean. I don't know. That was a good choice on my end. But once I was done adding the bias tape, then you see me, I think I'm making the ruffle. What am I doing? Yep, I'm stitching the pieces together. I don't know. I'm sorry this is so confusing. But hopefully this shows what my brain was feeling during the time, because I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew is that I had that night maybe about 3 hours to get this done, and I still had to do the skirt and the sleeves. So I knew something was going to have to give, and I ended up not doing the sleeves the way I wanted. But that's okay. Again, it's a Halloween costume, and I would like to revisit this at some point. Not now. I'm done with this. I never want to look at this dress for like months. But yeah, there I am gathering the skirt. Look at me. I got nothing else to say. I can't believe I have so much footage of this. Oh, there's an empty chair. Oh, she's back. What am I doing? She gone. Hey, what are you doing? I think I'm attaching the skirt together. That has to be what I'm doing, because the bodice is on the thing over there. Oh! And now we're on to the sleeves. So yeah. I guess that's what I was showing. I had attached the skirt to the bodice. Then I worked on the sleeves, but I guess I did not film that. Wow. Okay, videographer of the year. Yeah, I was so done at this point. Oh my god. I was in such a mood. Look at that. Oh, she's gone. She's back. Oh, that was me trying to make the band. That didn't work out very well because the final product didn't have a band on it. We didn't have time. I am just not realizing that that was all the footage that I had. Well, I guess it's time for the reveal. Okay, wait, where's my axe? Ignore my clogs. I'm a star! Okay, so it's fine. I need to not rush myself. And then I'll be able to actually get a product that I love completely. There's a couple things that are bothering me and that I will fix once this Halloween party is over. First, this little lace piece right here is fraying. Tack that down, and then finally add the buttons that I didn't add. Because she has like buttons going down here. So I have to add that. I don't enjoy whatever this is. I don't like the way that the sleeves go. Speaking of the sleeves, I want to get rid of them completely. They're supposed to have like a band here, and they're supposed to be like a scrunch, and this was supposed to be like a puff sleeve. Now, mind you, I've never done any of this before, but I decided that the night before this party, I would have been able to get it done. I always do this to myself, and I caught myself when I was looking in the mirror, just kind of going back into that negative head space of, I don't like what I look like. Well, I look ugly. I don't look like her. Of course I don't look like her. I'm not Mia Goth, and I'm not a professional seamstress. I made this after work in 4 days so that I have something to wear to my friend's Halloween party. And you know what? I think I have to take it for what it is and then build on it. I would like to fix things. This, and then you can't see the back, but I didn't get to make the big bow because I ran out of fabric. So, also, there was a point where I stopped filming the process. One, because I was out of time. And I finished the bodice, added the sleeves, and made the belt and finished the skirt all last night. Which is why it looks kind of but I was running out of time. And listen, I had work all day. So then by the time I was done work, I didn't want to do anything. And I'm kind of disappointed because I took so much time on this part and now it's coming apart. Like, I'm really proud of the way that the collar turned out. I didn't think I'd be able to do that. So I kind of just have to take it as, well, like, I can improve on it just because the Halloween party is tonight. Like, I guess I'll fix it. And if there's one thing about me, I am not great at expressing what I'm feeling in the moment verbally. So I wrote down something that I was kind of thinking about, and I kind of just wanted to put out there as a reminder to myself that I'm still learning. And this is the first garment that I've sewn in 2 years, and I wasn't making very good garments 2 years before. So this is probably the best garment for myself that I've ever made. But I have this thing where if I'm not completely perfect at something the first time that I do it, then I hate it. I never want to do it again. And it's sad because I like learning. I just wish that I was, you know, perfect every single time. I found myself attacking my ability to sew, to be able to make things, when I didn't give myself proper time to even complete this project. I started it on Monday, and today is Friday. I worked Monday after work for like 3 hours, and then I would say like 3-ish hours a night until then. I'm also new. There are people who are really good at making garments and really detailed dresses and stuff, and I've never done an Edwardian walking dress before, so the style lines are a little different, and I was like pissed that I couldn't do it. And then I just had to keep reminding myself, like, I've never sewn on like decorative lace before. I've also never looked at a picture and was like, I'm gonna make that. So I need to be proud of myself, remind myself that it's a work in progress. And it's a Halloween party at my friend's apartment. I think I'm gonna be fine. What I'm trying to do, I wrote this down on the side because last night I was ruminating about so many things. And this is what I wrote. What I'm trying to do is push myself to get out of my comfort zone, to be neutral with my body and make cute things. I don't want to wait to be the right weight, which is why I stopped making garments for the longest time, because I had gained weight. And it's one of those things where there are other people who are the same size as me, and I don't view them negatively. I only view myself in this horrible, terrible light from the way that I look. And I like, no matter what I look like, I'm never gonna be happy at this point by like the thought processes that I'm having now. And I want to make and participate in cute things and not worry about things that are stupid. The second thing was that learn new skills I've always wanted to learn. I've always wanted to make a dress. I've always wanted to make a costume from a movie that I love, because I love film, and that was something I originally was studying. It's something I would hopefully like to get back into. And the third thing is to learn patience, because I have no patience when like the skirt started going awry. So one of the things that pissed me off was that my sewing machine decided to like eat fabric. It ate parts of my fabric and it threw off my like skirt line. I think you can actually see it if you look. I had to add the belt because, do you see it? It's like not even. I had to actually stop and walk away because I was just like crying. I was like, it's not that big of a deal. But I couldn't stop myself because I was mad. I was like, I have no patience. I want this done. But like, it's called slow fashion for a reason. And I'm the person that thinks that they can make like a gown in like an hour. And I'm like, why is it not done? I cut out the pieces. Why is it not done? So it's something I'd like to work on. And going with my journey with learning how to be with OCD, I've learned how much it affects me, and I can see it more when I'm crafting or when I'm crocheting or sewing more than I can in everyday life, because the type of like OCD that I have is more ruminating thought, obsessive thought that just take me down a spiral. I put these like unrealistic expectations in my head, bound to fail from the start. And by fail, I mean not have the thing that I've pictured in my head out, because it's not possible. It's not possible for me to do the same work as like someone of Vivienne Westwood talent. I have not been doing this that long. And I think what makes it worse with those thoughts is the added, especially when I have to make something for myself, because I had been making hats recently. Loved it because it was a one size and I didn't have to worry about anything. And when there's the added pressure of like my body and having to measure and having to have it fit, I just sit there, and as I'm sewing I have ruminating thoughts of like what I look like, I'm this way, I'm that way, and it's all negative. But I'm happy I was able to get something out to go have fun in. Yeah, I'm a star. What does she say to that? Hey Mitzi, I like your dress. I love her so much. Okay, that's another thing, real quick, let me talk. I love her. I don't care that she's crazy. I
have sympathy for her because she just wants to be loved. Like that whole monologue, oh, she's insane. But you feel for her because she doesn't understand, like, she doesn't understand why she's like that. And then like she murders people, but like I feel bad. She's a star and she just wants to perform. She's crazy, but I don't care. I love her. I love her so much. Anyway, I'm gonna try to force my friends to watch it, and if we're not gonna watch that, I'm gonna try to force them to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because that's one of my other favorite movies. Okay, anyway.